We are at day 11. Day 11 is the day of the great Chaturanga Dandasana. This guy. If you've never done it before, this is going to be a big day in your life. So we're going to start with a little wrist stretching. Come on up to stand at the front edge of your mat. And you're going to grab your left hand with your right hand, turn your left fingers down, and then flex your hand back towards you as you press the heel of your left hand forward. Then you can give that upper arm bone a few little flosses, extra credit flossing of the shoulder. Stretch the thumb away from the hand so you feel good stretch to the meat of your thumb. A couple more big breaths here. Pressing the heel of your hand forward and flexing your fingers and even the palm back as much as you can. And just go ahead and switch sides. So practicing yoga increases self-confidence. This is inspiration number 11. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you think you're a really bad person because you can't do Chaturanga Dandasana or you can't stick crow. But with time and practice, you do eventually build strength. You do eventually overcome poses that you thought you never ever were going to be able to do. I promise you that. It's true. I've seen it happen thousands of times. And that over and over is an incredible ego booster to be able to do something you never thought possible. Really incredibly good, healthy ego building. So if today isn't your day for a great Chaturanga Dandasana, no worries, that day will come and you'll be stronger inside when it does. So let's move a little bit and then we're going to get to the great Chaturanga. You know the sequence now. I'll talk you through it. Our first little warm-up flow, we start in Tadasana. First, let's close our eyes and find our breath. Really reach your hands wide. Feel your wrists open and clear. Feel your breath deep and full. Bring a very gentle sound to your breath by contracting the back of your throat. And then open your eyes and inhale your arms out and up. Big breath in, Urdhva Hastasana. Bend your knees forward, fold, Uttanasana. Step your left leg back, breathe in. Come right into the twist as you exhale. Bring your right hand down, inhaling. Step right to downward facing dog, exhaling. Tap your knees down, cow. Exhale, round to cat. Slowly round. Inhale, back to cow. Back bend, pull your chest through. Spread your fingers. Extended child's pose, hips to heels, arms strong. Right into plank pose as you inhale. And then knees, chest, chin, shoulders lifting, pull through to cobra. Shins back, heart through. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg lifts, inhale. Step to the right, thumb tip, exhale. Drop your back knee, lift your arms. Frame your front foot, lift your hips, forward foot. Remember, you can hop the back foot in a little and then bring it all the way forward, right into flat back. Fold down your legs, exhale. You hinge or you round, be really nice to your back. Big breath in. Tadasana, exhale, center the shoulders. Big breath in, reach up. Slowly fold, exhale. Flat back, inhale. Step your right leg back, exhale. Twist to the left, exhale. Left hand down, inhaling. Step to downward facing dog, exhale. Cow and cat, inhale, drop your knees. Exhale, press the floor away from you, round, scoop your belly. Inhale, back to cow, chest through, shoulders back. Extended child's pose. Exhale, inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Slowly pull through cobra pose. Exhale, very nice, downward facing dog. Left side, lift your left leg, breathe in. Step your left foot forward. Drop your back knee, lift your heart, back bend. Frame your front foot, lift your hips forward, fold. Step forward right into a flat back and fold down your legs, exhale. Hinge or round, knees bent, powerful belly, reach up. Tadasana, exhale. Reach up, breathe in. Bend your knees forward, fold, Uttanasana. Left leg steps back, breathing in. Exhale to the twist. Inhale your right hand down and step to downward facing dog. Different this time. Inhale to plank and then right to knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg back and up. Step your right foot to your right thumb tip. Drop your back knee. Lift to Anjaneyasana. Little back bend. Hands frame your front foot. Lift your hips. Hop the back foot in if you need to. Forward fold. Step your back foot all the way forward, right into a flat back. Fold down your legs. Power your legs. Stand up tall. Big breath in. Feet ground. Tadasana. Crown of your head tall. Reach out and up. Big breath in. Bend your knees, scoop the belly, forward fold. Last round like this. Right leg steps, inhale. Twist to the left, hips squeezing to the midline. Left hand down, inhale. Step to downward facing dog. Right into plank on your inhale. Slowly knees, heart melting, chin taps down, shoulders lift, cobra pose, shin slide back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifting, inhale, hips square. Step to the left thumb tip, drop your right knee, lift your arms, gentle upper chest back bend, frame your front foot, straighten both legs and fold. Step your back foot forward, and this time stay in the forward bend and give yourself another little wrist stretch. So the way we put our hands on blocks a couple of days ago, you could grab your blocks and do it, or just bend your knees and put your hands on the floor in front of your feet, or if you can slide your hands under your feet in full Padahastasana, hand under foot pose. Do 3 deep breaths. Try and bear a little more weight in the balls of your feet, and if you can pull your shoulder blades up towards your heels, your neck will hang more freely. 1 more deep breath. Try and rock a little more weight in the balls of your feet. Press the back of your hands down. Maybe you can even bend your elbows a little bit to increase the stretch in your wrists. Good job. Release your hands, breathe in. And then just step back through down dog and put your knees down on the floor in a tabletop. Okay, you're gonna grab one of your blocks and you're gonna put it right between your hands and your knees, about equidistant on its middle height, so that the long edge of the block is parallel with the front and back edges of your mat. And then step your right leg back and your left leg back into a plank pose. Let's not spend too long in plank or you'll lose your mojo. Go forward a little on the tips of your toes so your shoulders pull over your fingernails. Firm your inner hands like crazy, and then start to bend your elbows straight back so your pelvis lands down on the block, and then breathe. Now you've got to power your belly like crazy. The side waist of the belly has to lift up, and then your tailbone and your buttock tips need to reach back towards your heels so you're in one long plane. Couple more breaths. You can do this. Stay here, look in your peripheral vision, and see that your shoulders are just about at the height of your elbows. This is so important. They're not rounding down and hunching, bringing way too much work in your upper shoulders. Okay, good job. Drop your knees down to the floor, shift your butt back, take a rest. Take that block away, rest in child's pose. Say, hooray, I did the longest chaturanga I'm ever gonna do in this entire series. And breathe. In and out. Good, 1 more big breath in and out. Of course, we have to do it without the block now. So, forward onto hands and knees. We won't stay long. Left leg and right leg back into plank pose. Now I want you to focus on the work of your legs and your belly and not letting your shoulders go too low. Roll forward onto the tips of your toes a little. Bend your elbows straight back. Don't go too low. Look in your peripheral vision. See that your shoulders haven't shrugged down. Good job. Just lower to the floor. Collapse. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Pull through to a cobra pose. Hug your shoulders in. Pull your chest through. 1 more big breath in and come back to downward facing dog. So I want to talk about using chaturanga instead of knees, chest, chin as a way to come to the floor. Eventually, chaturanga is going to bring us into upward facing dog, but I love chaturanga as a transition into cobra pose. So similar to what we just did, but with a little more intention, you're going to come into plank. And then on one exhalation, not too low, lower to chaturanga. Now don't drop your shoulders or even your low ribs, just drop your hips and your thighs. Good. So you see how the shoulders the whole time stayed buoyant? Keep them lifted and you're basically there. You're already in cobra. Pull your chest through, glue your lower body to the floor, express the back bend and come to downward facing dog. We're gonna do that 1 more time, slowly but with the breath. Molly's sweating. Inhale, plank pose. Really nice. Lower, not too low in the shoulders. Drop just your hips and thighs down. Pull through to cobra. Go for length more than height. Very beautiful. Come to down dog. Okay, that's done. Slowly walk your feet forward. Yes, ending in Uttanasana. Take a deep breath in. More of that tomorrow. Fold down your legs. Bend your knees. Come to chair pose. And say hello to your quads. So, you know, everything's just relative. When you work your arms and your wrists and your abs and chaturanga like crazy, then it's just really nice to come to chair pose. Turn on your quads, sink down a little deeper, or I'm gonna make you do another chaturanga. Get down a little bit lower. If you were to peek right at the end of your kneecaps, ideally you'd see your big toes poking out. 2 more breaths. Front ribs knit in, tailbone lengthens but doesn't tuck. Don't let your knees bow in or out, or your nose. Knees track right along the midline of the foot. Take 1 more big breath in, and then stand tall, Tadasana. Good. Take a moment and breathe in and out. Excellent. Right through chair, just passing through. Big breath in. And then big step back with your left leg. You've been here before. Coming into a high lunge. Bend your back knee. Remember, lift the frontal pelvis. Straighten your back leg. Try not to let your pelvis roll forward. We're going to do 4 more of those. Bend your back knee. Lift your ribs. Straighten your back leg. Exhale. Reach through your arms. Soften your shoulders. Bend your back knee. Pull your frontal pelvis away from the sidewall. Straighten your back leg. Take 2 more. Inhaling, crown tall. Exhaling, tailbone grounding. 1 more. Bend and straighten. Really nice. Touch your hands to the floor. Straighten both legs. Parsvottanasana. You can hop the back foot in. Step forward. Big breath in. Fold down your legs. Exhale. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Good. Tadasana. Exhale. Okay, right back to chair. So we're waking up the front of the hips. Exhale. Big step back with your right leg. On your in-breath, bend your back knee, get it pretty close to the floor, straighten your back leg, ground your tailbone. 4 more like that. As you bend the back knee, the frontal pelvis lifts. As you straighten the back leg, you try and keep it lifted. 3 more times. Inhale. Shoulders quiet. Exhale, arms reach. Left knee tracking right over the left ankle. Back leg straightens. 1 more like that. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten. Beautiful. Touch your hands down to the floor. Straighten both legs, Parsvottanasana. Good, bend your front knee. This time, step right to downward facing dog. Okay, inhale to plank. We're not even gonna call it chaturanga, just lower to the floor. Walk your hands back a little, and we're gonna work into upward facing dog. So we did that lunging bit, so we open the front of the hips a little bit more. So get your hands back so that they're right underneath your elbows. And then again, look in your peripheral vision and see that your shoulders are really buoyant, as high as your elbows ideally. And then just let your head be neutral. Try not to let it hang down. Let it be in line with your shoulders. And then turn on your legs and your belly like crazy, like you've never worked your legs and belly before. So strong in the lower body. And then press into the tops of your feet and start to straighten your elbows, lifting your hips and thighs as the elbows straighten. Now, if right away your lower back says, no way, then you listen to your lower back. You never ever do anything that feels crappy in your lower back. Rule number 1 for me in yoga. Now, you see in Molly here that her lower back is pretty long and the back bend is in her upper chest, which is exactly where you want it. If you feel like your back bend is in your lower back, then you need to bend your elbows a lot, put your pelvis down on the floor, and you're in cobra pose. Cobra pose is the jam. You don't have to do upward facing dog for 3 years or ever if it hurts your lower back. If you are going to do upward facing dog and the arms are going to straighten, go ahead. It means your legs and your pelvis are well off the floor. In upward facing dog, a really important thing to think about if you're practicing this pose is that the outer shoulders hug in and the chest pulls through. Outer shoulders hug in, collarbones are broad, the chest pulls through. You do not have to look up, you can look straight forward. Let's take 1 more breath, whether you're in cobra or up dog. And then slowly drop your knees, move your butt to your heels. extended child's pose, and then sweep your arms back, reach your arms in line with your shins. Full child's pose, and breathe. In and out. So I see when I teach a lot, people taking upward facing dog with their thighs and their hips on the floor, and it really almost gives me a heart attack. So for the sake of your lower back and for the sake of any yoga teachers you might ever meet, please, if your arms are straight, your legs and hips are well off the floor. All right, come on up to sit. Swing your legs forward. Give your legs a little shake. And if you've got a strap, you might want a strap for this next forward bend. You're gonna take a blanket, if you've got one, and put it under your seat, especially if you figured out yesterday in Jana Shirshasana that you needed to lift your seat for length in the lower back. If you've got a strap or a towel or even a shirt, you could grab that, or you just use your hands on your legs. And then you could take that strap and put it around the balls of your feet and hold either end. And then first I just want you to feel really supremely upright in your spine. Same work, spine long, seat grounding, whatever height you need to bring a little natural curve into your lower back. There's a little upper chest back bend here. Yes, in every forward bend, there's a little smidge of a back bend. And then press the balls of your feet into the strap, especially the inner balls of your feet, and this might be plenty. You might be feeling a really good stretch in the back of your legs. If you feel like you can take more stretch in the back of your legs, you want to hinge from the hips, not round in the lower back. If you've got a strap, you'll just bend your elbows and you'll pull back. Maybe your hands crawl down your strap or your towel or your shirt, and you go for supreme length as you hinge. Length as you hinge. Length as you hinge. If you've got a lot of mobility in the legs, eventually the chest will fold down the thighs and the head can drop and the neck can soften. But length over depth, always. Health of the spine over depth of the pose. Wherever you are, 2 more deep breaths. Lengthening as you inhale, finding a little more reach as you exhale. Press your feet against your strap if you're using one, or you're holding your outer legs, maybe even your outer feet. 1 more big breath in. Big breath out. Excellent. Sit up tall. Take your props aside. You can get them ready for Shavasana now. We'll take a happy baby pose to close. But you can put your blanket, if you're using it, or your bolster right underneath your thighs. Lie down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. We're not taking the beloved half wheel today because you just did quite a bit of back bending in your up dog and cobra. Hold your outer feet if you'd like. Hold your shins, do a little rock from side to side. Give your sacrum a little self-massage against the floor. Remember to try and use your arms and not your shoulders to bring the legs down. You can also be holding the outer calf or the outer ankle. Take 2 more breaths. In, out. 1 more. In. Pull your legs a little deeper towards your outer ribs, out, and then give your legs a big hug into your chest. Huge breath in. Sigh out your mouth. Off you go. Shavasana. If you feel like your shoulders hunch a little bit in Shavasana, a nice adjustment is simply to wrap the shoulder blades one at a time underneath you so you pin the collarbones open a little bit broader. Settle. Take a deep breath in your nose. And then make a transition to sitting if you want to close seated or stay right where you are. If you stay reclining on your back and you want to place your hands lightly on your belly and your heart for breath practice, that's a nice way to create a prayer, hands to your body. We're going to breathe together now on 8, unless you prefer the count of 6, and insert a short pause on 8. Take a breath in. 1 clearing breath out your mouth. Seal your lips and breathe in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and soften. Exhaling, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing. Inhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause the breath. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Settle. Inhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften. Continuing to rest with the breath free. Take as long as you can to give your body the opportunity to restore. I will see you tomorrow.